and welcome to the Moms Who Know podcast. I'm your host, Chanel Nielsen, and I'm joined today by Becky Rapinchuk, better known as Clean Mama. Becky, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I am excited to talk to you. This is definitely a show that I need to learn from you. So to start off, before I introduce you, I want to let all the listeners know about my little co-host today. I've got my baby right next to me. So if you hear any heavy breathing, I just want to let everyone know that's not Becky. That's not me. That's my little Carter. So you may hear that or any other fun little sounds are baby sounds. So Becky is awesome. She is a wife and a mom to 3. She's a cleaning expert, an author, a successful entrepreneur, and a former art teacher. She's the blogger behind Clean Mama, the leading online homekeeping community, and she owns an online shop, Clean Mama Home. And one thing that really stood out to me as I have been looking at her blog and reading the things that she writes, she loves cleaning. And I just think that's amazing to love cleaning. And so my very first question for you, Becky, is, can this be acquired? Can you teach me to love cleaning? Because I really don't.
Well, I don't know if you can teach to love cleaning. Sorry. But I think that you can learn to appreciate the results, and those results in turn kind of keep you motivated to continue cleaning and keeping up with things so that you don't let things get behind and you're doing things in a routine. So I think that that's the main objective, is realizing that cleaning, people are constantly making messes. So you're going to be constantly picking up and cleaning and doing those things, but not to loathe it or hate it or put it off. Just accept it, take care of it, and move on with the rest of your day, because you'll save a lot of time in the long run.
Okay, that is definitely an achievable, a doable thing. You know, if we can't get to loving it, we can at least get to acceptance, right? We can accept the fact that this is part of the deal. Goes along with motherhood.
Oh, I was just going to say, when you see the results of keeping up with the cleaning, I think that's motivation in itself. People are, when they see that it doesn't take as much as you anticipate it taking, like you can sit on your couch and like dread unloading the dishwasher for an hour and put it off and put it off and put it off. But then when you actually go and unload the dishwasher, it took you 3 minutes. And then you're like, why didn't I do that sooner? Or folding out a load of laundry, or, you know, those sorts of things that you put off and let stack up. And that's when the overwhelming feeling comes in, where like, oh, I can't do it all.
Yeah, that's such a good point, because I definitely see that with myself. I see that happening when you look at all the things that need to be done, and it just gets overwhelming. And then it's easy for me to say, just forget it. I just don't want to do any of it, instead of, you know, going through. And that's why I love what you do and what you teach, is you really have a system to break it down so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So one of those systems that you have incorporates just cleaning for 10 minutes a day. So talk to us about, if you're going to do, I read somewhere you say 10 minutes a day to keep your house clean. What can you realistically get done in 10 minutes that's going to keep your house clean?
Yeah, you can get a lot done in 10 minutes, surprisingly. And so if you're starting from a disaster in your home, it's going to take you more than 10 minutes. But once you're doing the routine on a regular basis, you'll see that it's much quicker than you may have thought it was. So I always suggest starting with daily cleaning tasks. I have 5 of them, and I recommend doing these every day. And there are things that you're probably already doing, but maybe you haven't assigned them in your head, or just assigned them as like just a regular thing that you need to do. So the first one is to make your bed. I highly recommend taking care of that as your first little thing to do. It will set up your day. It'll make you feel accomplished. and I don't make my kids' beds. My kids are older. I've got a 6, a 10, and a 12-year-old, and they make their own beds. I don't go back and correct them or fix it or make it look perfect or anything like that. They take care of their own beds, and I'm good with that. Do they do it every single day? No. Today, I think 2 out of my 3 made their beds. I'm not going to make them go back and do it when they get home from school, but I'll remember to remind them tomorrow morning too. So it's kind of that's a process, but, so make the beds, deal with clutter every day. I think everyone has clutter in their homes. There's a constant like deluge of mail or school papers or just things that pile up that you don't get to, or you put on a stack and you're going to deal with it later, but then you forget. So actually taking a couple minutes to deal with those things every day is important. And if you keep up with it, you're not going to have the stacks of mail to go through that take an hour, or you'll just, I usually will, as I'm walking into the house from the mailbox, I will go through the letters and put what can be recycled in the recycling, and I will file the bills, or sometimes if I'm doing really well, I'll go and take care of those online right away. So, that's a big thing. Taking care of counters is big. So you probably wash your dishes at some point during the day, whether you wash them in the sink or in the dishwasher. And during that process, I call that the counter process. So you're clearing those counters off, wiping them down, taking care of your dishes. That's something that doesn't take as long as you think it's going to take, but keeping up with it during the day is helpful as well. I do a load of laundry every day, and with 3 kids, myself and my husband, we definitely have a full load of laundry at least every single day, especially when it's sports season for the kids, and there's that added into the mix. If you don't need to do a load of laundry every day, space it out, maybe do every other day or every 3rd day. But the main goal with laundry is to wash it, dry it, and put it away. Don't put it in a basket and let it pile up on the couch or on a chair or on your bed. Just actually take care of that.
So a quick question for you about the laundry. Now, you're saying wash, dry, and put away. Are you daily putting away like yesterday's load, or during the day, you're starting the load in the morning, in the afternoon you're switching, or, an hour later you're switching it over, and then in the afternoon you're putting it away? Or what's the kind of schedule look like for the laundry?
Yeah, I'll put clothes in the morning in the wash, move it to the dryer, fold it and put it away. And, I'm home most of the day, so it's easy for me to do. If when I've worked outside of the home, I would usually start it in the morning before I left, and then put it in the dryer. And then when it's done in the dryer, then like at night, I would fold it. So that's okay. It kind of depends on your schedule, but I never leave clothes in the washer overnight, just because it ends up smelling. And then, but I definitely take care of the laundry in that one day. So some people, because I've had washing machine leaks before, I make sure that I'm home when the washing machine is going. And I don't leave that, or I'll put it on a timer so that it starts later in the day or right before I wake up. So I could put the stuff in the wash and have it set on the timer for like 6 hours later. And then when I wake up, it's ready to be put right into the dryer. So that works too.
Okay, great idea.
But there's room for making that your own. And everyone's schedule is different. My kids, my older 2 will do their own laundry and fold it and put it away. They don't do it willingly. I usually have to, it's part of a chore for them. So they will do that to make their spending money. even though I do feel like it's part of being a family is taking care of your own dirty clothes and whatnot, it's hard for them to get motivated for that, which I understand because I hate doing laundry too. So, but that's definitely, you kind of need to figure out what works best for you and your schedule too, and how much laundry you actually have. But I think most people are overwhelmed by laundry. That's something that I hear a lot, is just like the piles or different things that are just too much, too overwhelming. And taking care of that every day is really helpful. Okay, so, and then the last daily task is to check the floors. This is super simple. I don't recommend vacuuming daily. I think there are definitely people that do, and, that's totally fine. But when I say check the floors, I'm checking for crumbs under the table. I'm sweeping up little messes, maybe pulling out the vacuum cleaner if needed, but that's is just real, just a quick check. It's not intended to be a full-on chore. It maybe takes a minute. If you have a dog, you probably don't have the crumbs under the table, but definitely just checking for that, and is a pretty simple little task. So those 5 daily tasks, if you only do those 5 things and you don't do anything else, you will start to notice a difference in your home. You'll start to see that the messes are easier to pick up because you're staying on top of them. And you'll also see that you're continuing. It's just a little chore that you're doing. And if you attach it to something like in your brain, like I get out of bed and I make it. So then your brain is learning that task and connecting it. If you every morning, like for instance, for me, I will make the coffee, and while the coffee is brewing, I unload the dishwasher. So, and then it's ready to accept the dishes for the day, and I'm not having piles of dishes on the counters. So actually like thinking of a way to put it into your day so that it's simple and easy to incorporate and not a big deal is really important.
Yeah. And I love that because I've done a lot of research on habit formation. And that is exactly, what you're saying is if you attach it to something else, so something that you're already doing. So that's really good. I love that tip because that's really helpful to make it part of your day and to make sure that it's actually happening. So I love that list. I gotta say, number 5, I was going along good until we hit number 5. Like, okay, yeah, this is good. Floors is a real challenge because my kids are messy and they just we do our kitchen cleanup every night and my husband sweeps the floor every night. And so you'd think it would be clean. And yet somehow between the time he sweeps the floor after dinner cleanup and the morning, it's just, you could find a whole meal on my kitchen floor. So it's bad, but okay. Well, 1 minute, I'll shoot for just 1 minute of quickly cleaning. I like that you keep it brief. It doesn't have to be this major project because that does feel overwhelming, but quickly get the Cheerios and whatever else off the floor and then move on, even if it's not perfect. That's at least what I'm taking because that's what I think I need to take on that one so that it's not overwhelming.
Absolutely. When my kids were little, I have like a little hand broom and I would give them the hand broom and they love using the broom and to clean up under the table. Or I also have a small broom with a dustpan attached and they'll go grab it and they'll sweep under the table. So, and they started that at probably 4 years old, just something that they do and they enjoy it quite a bit more than I do.
Yes.
And it's just something that's really simple for them to do and a way for them to help out.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I love putting the kids to work, all of that, having them do their laundry, like you mentioned, and having them make their bed. And then that's, another thing to give them little tools is a great idea to really get them on board. So we have these daily tasks that we can do to basically keep up with the house and not let it get out of hand. Now, do you have a weekly cleaning routine that you recommend?
I do. I have a very specific weekly cleaning routine, and there's a method behind the madness. There's a reason that I have each task assigned to each day. And these are your basic keep your home clean tasks. I also recommend doing like rotating cleaning tasks, but that's something like if you're new to my routine, don't even pay any attention to that. Just worry about getting the daily tasks down and then add in the weekly cleaning tasks. So I start with Monday, and Monday is bathrooms day, and that's the day we clean the bathrooms. And I hate cleaning bathrooms, so there is something I don't like cleaning. But I'm not into the bathroom cleaning, so I put it on Monday and get the bathrooms clean for the week ahead. I have two boys that are little-ish, and I am not into cleaning their bathroom, but it's always easier to clean it every week instead of putting it off, because then if you put it off, it's just too much.
So true. Yeah. Boys' bathroom, you have to keep up on, or else it looks so bad and smells so bad. And you know it when you've let it go too far.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mondays I do that. On Tuesdays, and I'm on my blog too. I have a speed cleaning routine for bathrooms, and you can clean, I don't care how many bathrooms you have, but if you follow my routine, you'll clean it in 15 minutes. So if you, I can send you the link for that too. But
I'll be sure to post that. That'd be great.
That's really helpful because bathrooms take a while. And then Tuesdays I assign, it's a dusting day. So we dust all the surfaces in the house. Pretty simple. I use like a microfiber duster and just quick go over flat surfaces. Wednesday is vacuuming day, and that's when we vacuum all the floors in the home, including the bathroom floors. I don't wash or vacuum bathroom floors until Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I wash the floors. So Wednesday, the whole house gets vacuumed. Thursday, the whole house their floors get washed. And then on Friday is catch-all day, and that's a day to catch up on anything you didn't complete. So if you didn't feel like dusting on Tuesday and you want to catch up on that, you could do it on Friday. Or you can just wait until the next week, because we all know the dust will still be there. It's not going anywhere, and just put it on the next week's schedule and make sure you do that. I also recommend, for myself, I do grocery shopping on Fridays, and I find that that's really helpful because then we've got a full fridge for the weekend. We don't need to go out and shop on Saturday or Sunday, because that's when everyone else seems to be shopping too. So I prefer to leave Friday as my grocery shopping day. I will wipe out the fridge before I leave and come home and fill it up. On Saturdays, I specifically do sheets and towels. So I'll wash the sheets in our house and the towels in our house. I don't wash those different days of the week. Or, with my regular laundry routine, I save that for Saturday. The main reason is that the kids can help with the beds, and they can help, take off their sheets. They can help put them back on the beds and take care of that. And then Sunday, I just say it's just the daily tasks, and that's all that I take care of on Sundays. So that's the routine.
That's a great routine. I think that one thing that stands out to me that's really different than I've heard from a lot of cleaning routines is that the way you do the floors, that you clear all the floors, you vacuum all the floors one day, and then you mop or clean the floors on the next day. What's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, the reasoning is that it takes so long and to clean the floors. And by splitting it up, it makes it more manageable. Some people say, why would I vacuum the floors and then leave them for the whole next day? They're going to be, messy or dirty. And I'll do a spot check under the kitchen table before I wash the floors on Thursdays. So I'm definitely checking the floors, but I'm not, doing like a full on vacuum beforehand. And then it just kind of splits it up and makes it more manageable. Sometimes if someone has a hard time with that, I recommend splitting your home in two. So if you have a 2-story or just split it, if you have 8 rooms or 4 rooms, split it with 2 and 2 and just vacuum and wash half of the house on Wednesday and vacuum and wash the other half on Thursday, if that makes more sense for you or works better.
Well, that just makes so much sense to me, though, to break it up either of those ways. But I like your idea a lot of doing the vacuuming one day and the mopping or cleaning the next, because for me, that always is so overwhelming to think about. We have a lot of tile in our house, and to think about doing the entire house, because first you have to, declutter everywhere all at the same time, and then vacuum and then mop. And it just seems like this huge process. So if you could you do your clutter every morning, it doesn't get too bad, and then you vacuum it and you're done for the day. I think that makes it really doable. So I like that tip a lot.
Thanks. Yeah, I like it too. It works really well. Otherwise it could be like a 2-hour process.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that is what I've run into. And then I'm like, ooh, I'm exhausted. No wonder I don't do this very often. Takes me too long. Now, I would love to hear in the little bit of time that we have left, just some of the things that you hear from your readers that people are running into, the kind of the obstacles and the problems that people have with keeping their house clean.
Yeah, I think that the big one is the schedule. Like I'm gone all day. I get home at 6. I feed my kids. I'm exhausted. I can't, there's nothing I can't do. I can't clean or think about doing laundry or anything else. That's a big one. Another one is no one helps. I can't get anyone else involved. No one else cares. That's sort of a mentality. And for both of those, I think that you have to, even if you've never asked your children to clean and they're 13, 14, and 15 years old, you need to somehow set something up so that everyone is helping. And if you don't have them help when they're little, it's going to be harder when they're older. But you have to give your kids jobs and tasks and things to do because they're part of the family. And if you're met with resistance, I don't recommend punishing in any stretch of the imagination, but I do recommend, maybe you get a quarter or $1 or some kind of a monetary reward that they like make time with you or something different that motivates them to get started, or they can work towards to start cleaning in their home. I think that, that's something. If you're tired and exhausted and you come home and you don't want to clean, the good thing is that everyone was probably gone all day. So there aren't the messes in your home all day long with, little kids. So if you're able to get to the point of where you're just managing those evening messes, putting the dishes away, taking care of your daily tasks, it's not going to be as hard if you're gone all day versus if you're home. And I'm sure there's going to be people that would argue with that, but if no one's home, there's not going to be as much of a mess. You probably just left in a flourish in the morning. And so then there's things around. And, but I think that instead of making excuses, just do something. So if you're tired, sit and watch your favorite show and fold laundry. Or if you can't get to it, ask for help, get other people involved. If you don't care and, a routine isn't something for you, that's okay too. But I think that a routine is something that is extremely helpful when you're running a household. And it's so nice to walk into a home and not be met with piles of things that give you that overwhelmed feeling. And that's what a routine will give you. You're always like 10 or 15 minutes away from your home being picked up. And that's a nice thing. Like it's, and I know with kids, there's constant. There's constant picking up. There's constant messes. But I think that the main thing is that that's okay. You live there. You want your home to be lived in. That's a sign of a lived in, loving, well-loved home. But you also want to be able to put things away when you're done with them and keep up with routines. And it just makes it easier all around.
I definitely agree. I think that there's power in routine. There's power in the little things. I love what you said. Just do something. Just do something. It's good advice for me. It's good for me to hear this. And I love this schedule. There's been times in my life where I've been better about keeping to a schedule, and hearing you talk about it, I like that. I love the idea of knowing what is coming for this day. Today is dusting day. I'm going to get it done. I'm done for the week. And then I don't have to think about it again. And I really like that, to get it off my plate, off my mind, and have the house dusted, and be free of that until the next week. So Becky, I appreciate you being on the show and teaching us so much. We'll definitely link to your website so people can get some more good information from you. And thank you again for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Chanel. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Moms Who Know.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode and being a part of Moms Who Know. I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. I wanted to let you know about some resources on the website. You're going to want to go to momswhoknowpodcast.com and go to free resources. I've recently added a brand new, it's a big list of activities to add to your morning routine. So if morning routine is something that you're working on, you'll want to go there. You'll see a few other resources there as well. So go check it out, and we'll see you next week.